Hi everyone and welcome to another pick a card reading, with today's subject being the really powerful and karmic penumbral lunar eclipse taking place around Sunday at 13 degrees in the sign of Capricorn. Now in some parts of the world it's going to happen on the 4th of July, especially in Americas, and in other parts of the world, including where I am, it's taking place on the 5th of July. But regardless, it is a really powerful and karmic full moon, especially that around this time the sun is conjunct Sirius and it's standing across the sky from the moon. And as we all know, Capricorn is the sign of manifestation. It is the top of the sky, the natural ruler of the 10th house. So this is a very, very powerful position for all of us collectively, but at the same time also individually, because regardless of where this area of life falls into your chart, it is still bearing the power and the symbolism of manifestation. And since it is close to the nodes of the moon, it represents that whatever comes to fruition, completion, it could also be an ending, a closure. Or for other people, it is just the light of the full moon revealing secrets and exposing everything that is hidden in that area of life. So it doesn't matter how it manifests, it can still be a very important karmic moment in all our journeys as we step into the future. So as per usual, just look at the 4 cards for a couple of seconds and then choose the one which appeals to your intuitive senses the most. Then of course you can jump straight to the interpretation. You can find the timestamps down in the comments below. So let's get straight into the reading. For those of you who were guided to the first pile, your cards are the Magician and the 6 of Swords. Now this is quite a good news, because the Magician basically represents the blueprint, the idea, the plan, the desire, everything that you have worked for, especially within yourself, especially in your mind. So this can be like very concrete, practical ideas that you want to accomplish in the close future, or it could very well be a spiritual manifestation type of work. But either way, whatever this card represents, the Magician, it is something really, really important for you, and it is something that you have worked on, studied for, researched. You are actually planning to invest a lot of energy, a lot of focus, a lot of, mental and intellectual creative energy into this. So it might be for some people maybe a new job, a new career, some kind of project, while for other people it is simply accomplishing what they need in their lives, like the process of manifesting something that is very important for them. And it might or might not have anything to do with, their careers, their jobs, or their soul path, but it is something that they really need to have in their lives. For example, Capricorn is very material energy. It is very earthly energy, so it could be an item, an electronic item maybe, something material that they need in their lives. It could be very well a place, a house. It simply could be just resources or a source of income. Or it can have much to do with, business, prosperity, basically entering into the flow. But since this is the Magician card, it doesn't really specify the subject. It just specifies that it is something that is very, very important for you. Not just, for your mind intellectually, but also for your soul path basically. So you're trying and have tried in the recent past to master whatever it takes to accomplish your desires, to accomplish your plans. And as I said, it could be something very, very practical and crystal clear, like a new job, a new career, money, resources, house, something material. But for other people, it can just be something spiritual, something karmic, where they just want to step into the new. They want to step into the position where they hold power, where they are in control of their lives. While for other people, it's even more simpler. It is basically just the opportunity, the chance to live their truth, to live their philosophy, to live their perceptions about life. So basically, it is a certain kind of freedom that everyone, regardless of what the magician means to them personally, is working for. If it's something material, well, that contributes to your comfort, your freedom, and to get things done, something that you really need in your life. If it's like a spiritual path, well, that means magical power, the power of manifestation, having in your life everything that you need. And if it's just stepping into the next chapter of your karmic journey, well, in that next chapter, the flow has to be totally different than it was the rest of your life, because you need quick manifestations, you need the flow to be, very easy to access. And since you might be a very cerebral person, your natural state is when everything happens really, really fast and things just fall in their places so that you can access them very, very quickly when you really need them. So this eclipse, this penumbral lunar eclipse in Capricorn, is definitely going to manifest something that will start you on this journey, where basically you get what you asked for. Your seeds of intention that you have planted in the last 6 months or maybe last year in the universe are finally coming to fruition, but it's not really like a harvest, because they will come to fruition, but you will need to work with them. They are not the final stage of anything. They're just free resources that you can use at your leisure to build your future, basically. So whatever manifests, whatever is completed in your life, it is not something very specific. It is not the big picture. It is not the final stage where, you just harvest your reward and goodbye. No, it is basically just a free resource. It is things falling into their places. It is where the universe is basically enacting your will, because you are the magician. Things are happening the way you planned them, the way you desired them. Of course, not to the letter, because there was a lot of surrendering work that you have done in the very recent past. So this is where the divine intelligence is just taking over and leading you, pushing you, moving you forward, so you can have your resources, the opportunities, the ideal conditions to do whatever you need. And as I said earlier, for some people it is material resources or a specific material thing that they need in their lives. For other people it is just spiritual power, where they can manifest whatever they need as they follow the flow, as they go with the flow, as they progress in their future. While for other people, it is stepping into something totally new, like a new beginning. But that means that certain obstacles and any karmic events that hold them in chains are going to naturally disappear from their lives. So, the obstacles, the burdens are going to be taken off, and that will represent stepping into the new, where everything that you need in this new chapter is just gonna fall into your lap, but of course gradually, because this is exactly the symbolism of that Six of Swords, because this is another period of transition. And I know that many people are even sick hearing this, because all until this present moment, all of 2020 was a big transition. It wasn't anything that we could work with practically, palpably, etc. And yes, another transition is heading your way if you chose pile number 1, but this transition is not going to be the same as it was until this present moment, because this is very, very, very dynamic, action-oriented. A lot of things are going to be accomplished, a lot of things are going to be changed, a lot is gonna be eliminated. So this is where basically where you're the alchemist, the magician, where you are slowly but surely building up something long lasting and permanent. So basically for you guys, it is the work that it's beginning, but the work is going to be facilitated greatly because you will have the resources, you will need have the connections, you will have everything that you have asked for to start building a future. And that is exactly the symbolism of the Six of Swords, because this next transition is going to be an extremely constructive one where things are gonna be accomplished, done, put in their right place as you go along. And by the end of the year, in the next 6 months, or maybe the very, very beginning of 2021, your life is gonna look very, very, very differently than how it is right now. But this is where you are the builder, you are the architect, you are the director of these events, of how you build your future, and that represents the magician. The universe, you worked for it, you studied for it, you suffered for it basically, so there is no reason why the universe cannot give you this power to manifest what you need, because you have learned responsibility. And one last thing, for some people, this Six of Swords can also mean a new study, new course, but a very short-term study, maybe like a training, like refining, mastering certain skills, and things that you already know. So for some people, like a study or an advanced training can be part of the future, what this energy manifests for you guys. For those of you who have chosen the second pile of cards, your cards are the Lovers and the Nine of Coins. And this is a really beautiful combination because it represents a very delightful manifestation. Just that you might need to wait a little bit because it's not gonna be instant. This eclipse might just set the stage for the big picture to come together, but that might need a little bit of time until things fall together, or the opportunities that you need, or the moments when you need to make certain decisions arrive in your life. So it's not gonna be something very instant, but it's going to be definitely delightful, because this second pile speaks to two different categories of people. For some people, you have done a lot of inner work in the last 6 months of your lives, and it absolutely healed your relationship with yourself. This is where your image of yourself, your self-image basically, changed 180 degrees, and you have discovered inside of you so much beauty, so much creativity, so much love, and the light of the truth as it revealed to you in the past 6 months of your life, who you truly are at the deep core of your being. Well, you have gained a totally new kind of respect and love for yourself, and that was a massive game changer because it basically transmuted the overall frequency of the being who you are, and this will reflect 1,000,000% in every single area of your lives, especially in your career, in your work, because the Lovers cards just represents that you're going to embody a totally different kind of magnetism, personal charm, a charisma that basically was hidden all your life until this present moment, and that is going to help you attract a lot of new partnerships in your life. And these partnerships are basically related to your work, to your creativity, to your self-expression. So this might represent a lot of new offers, a lot of new contracts, job offers, interviews, project offers. People in your life are really going to look up to you, and they're going to see a very optimistic, hardworking, but at the same time uplifting and good intended professional, or a potential best friend, or a really valuable ally. This is where your inner power is going to shine through in every area of your life. So of course new connections, very very beneficial new connections, are going to enter your lives, and that Nine of Coins represents that slowly but surely your future is going to be one of total material independence, where your material situation is going to be totally different than it was. And this might be because of your work, this might be because of the new opportunities in your life that you're going to really be solicited by, other people, either professionally or for your creativity, your expertise, or simply your presence. And this is going to provide a lot of income for you, extra income. And with every little being built up, stashed up, piled up, you're going to find yourself that you can afford a lot of things that you couldn't afford before, and at the same time, it represents what is most valuable for you: freedom. If there is a compromise you don't want to take, if there is a choice that you simply don't want to make, if there are certain people that you just don't want to deal with, well, you will be able to do all of this, and this will be your happiness, this will be your freedom, that you won't depend on other people. And when your heart tells you that you don't want to deal with someone, the rejection or the boundaries that you're gonna set are gonna be absolutely fine, and no situation in your life is gonna force you to take compromise or do stuff, relate to people, communicate with people, work with people when you're not really feeling it. And this is going to be a major blessing. But as I said, this kind of life is going to be built gradually. While for other people, this situation is really similar, just that it's not their professional notoriety or their charisma or the charm which is going to provide them with this life of material ease, but it's rather going to be one specific person, a new relationship, or someone who is gonna be really really attracted on a deep soul level to them, and they're a very wealthy or a materially well-off person. So the support of this person, regardless if it comes through as romantic relationship or maybe a one-sided relationship where that person is your biggest fan and you don't necessarily have to feel in a very reciprocal way, but either way, this is going to provide you with a life of material ease, of independence. You will be able to do many things which weren't available to you until this present moment because of the support and the love and the attraction this person feels for you. Of course, for most people, this is gonna be like a soulmate kind of situation where you just find each other, and from that moment, life is going to mean something totally different for the both of you. It's definitely going to be a life of freedom and a life of independence where you just have absolutely everything that you might need from this relationship. So the rest of the world is definitely going to be shut off, and you're going to live your stories, your life immersed in a big bubble where every single moment and second is a celebration of your unity, basically. But of course, I need to mention that all of this beautiful manifestation, all of this, good fortune and the flow of emotions and love and lucky events is due to the work you have done to heal the relationship with yourself and, find a totally new sense of self-worth, a very healthy and true one. So congratulations. Now for those of you who were attracted to the third pile, this situation is rather complicated, and of course these cards, the Five of Earth and the Lovers reversed, speak to different people with different situations. Now for some people, this Five of Earth represents material scarcity or physical illness or deteriorating health, or simply a lot of losses, turmoil, failures, stagnation, being stuck in their material lives. So, with other words, this can represent scarcity, poverty, a lot of problems, a lot of stress, being caught up a big tsunami where nothing seems to stabilize, nothing seems to provide you with grounding, permanent means of, material support and source of income. So for you guys, this Five of Earth represents your material situations and how really bad it was, especially in the recent past. And even though it might be a lot better right now, it is still not stable, it is still not permanent, it is still not grounded, so you're not really out of the woods just yet. You may have bought yourself a little bit of time, or maybe it was divine intervention that sent some resources for you, but you're still not out of the woods. And for you guys, however this eclipse in Capricorn is going to manifest in your lives, it is going to terminate this situation. It is going to put an end to this stage, this chapter of your stories where you had a lot of material problems, scarcity, instability. You didn't even know what you wanted to do at a certain point. You just didn't know what was wrong with you, why success couldn't come to you. With great efforts, like infinitely more efforts and sacrifices than those of other people, and still not even the minimal manifested for you. And this is where, first of all, this eclipse is going to reveal to you the true reason why. And the true reason is either your upbringing, where some people, maybe a parent, a sibling, a grandparent, just educated you for scarcity. They educated you to always be ready for losses and all of that. And that basically programmed inside of your subconscious mind to just lose all the time, because normality deep within you is not prosperity, but it is rather scarcity, a minimalistic type of lifestyle. And it is that programming that is going to be identified and eliminated from your mind, even from the most deepest corners of your, like a cancer. It's gonna be removed, ripped out, this very negative influence, and all of a sudden it's gonna change everything. It will almost feel like stepping into the twilight zone, where reality and your relation with your external reality has changed profoundly, and you will find that certain things are gonna work which until this present moment never ever worked in your life. And for other people, it's not really a parent, but it is a partner, a past relationship, where the energy, but especially the karma of that person, severely intoxicated your own. And of course, you shared this karma, and until this relationship was severed, you had to live the karma and the destiny of that other person. And even after it was severed, a time needed to pass until you just shed off all the old and everything that doesn't belong to you. And this partner, may it be like a civil partner, with marriage, or may it be just a concubine or just a long-term relationship. This doesn't necessarily suggest that that person is bad intended, bad-willed. It can be actually quite a lovely person, just that because of their own karma, they can never bring out their best qualities. But the thing is, you cannot share this with them. So maybe that's why this relationship came to a standstill. Or for some people, it could have been quite a toxic and egoistic person who just poisoned you. But it might not be really bad-willed, It might not have been done with bad intent. If someone doesn't know that they're toxic, well, then they just don't know. But either way, this is terminating in your life, and the next chapter, there isn't anything set in stone karmically in the next chapter of your life, just that reality and the way it functions, the way your material life is gonna function, is gonna be so very, very different. So a lot of things which were totally unavailable to you until that present moment are gonna all of a sudden be there for you to harvest at your own leisure. Now for other people, for others still, this is totally different. It doesn't have to do with the past. This Five of Earth represents the stress, discomfort of their material lives. This doesn't necessarily represent poverty, scarcity. It can actually represent a very, very rigid and uncomfortable routine, every day the same thing, obligations, where everything is just binding them down and taking away their liberty. They just feel like a slave in their lives because of the so many obligations, routines, everything that they must complete and perform. So the Lovers reversed represents that their material lives, their careers, whatever they need to do on an everyday basis, even if this was very, very important to them at one stage in their lives, maybe in their youth, but right now they're totally burned out. So like it or not, this area of life is gonna transform, where that job, career, the routine, the custom basically, whatever is keeping them shackled and chained down in their lives is gonna be eliminated. Now the elimination, the closure, is gonna be very hard. It is gonna shake them up profoundly, and it's gonna lead to a special dichotomy, because on one hand they desire freedom, they want it to end, but on the other hand there is guilt there. They don't want to give up on everything that they have worked for. They don't want to give up on their life's work. The karmic bell is really ringing and the time for closure is here, so they will need to surrender their careers and their jobs, as hard as it is, and they might adapt a very minimalistic kind of lifestyle. But in the minimalism, maybe some people are gonna move in the heart of nature, start a farm, start a very self-reliant kind of lifestyle where the resources are not that much, but they're always available without great effort. Or if you work for yourself, your effort is always going to be harvested by you, so you're working for your own sustenance, and that is absolutely fine. But you might need a little bit of time until you process this, until you find the courage and the strength needed to make this step, this transition. But ultimately, on long term, this is going to be happiness for you, like pure happiness, where you can be with your own being, the Lovers reversed, every single second of your life. You can appreciate yourself, you can give yourself everything that you have sacrificed in the past for your career, for your work, everything, the obligations that have shackled you down. And the Lovers reverse can also represent that not right now, but in the not so distant future, by the end of the year, maybe you're going to connect to another special soul just like you, who has went through the same things. Like if you're single, this can be a partner, a future partner, and because your situations resonate so much with each other, that can be the start of a beautiful relationship, where, as I said, you both live a very minimalistic lifestyle, but it is a blessing and a state of bliss that will make both of you so very, very happy. While for other people, it can be just a friend, an ally, an associate, someone who can facilitate that lifestyle, and of course someone who has deep knowledge. So if you're in a committed relationship, this can represent a new friend or an ally of your family, of you and your partner. So this is also very, very good news. Just that in any cases, it won't be very easy to get used to this new, and it will take a lot of courage to surrender and give up what is ultimately ending in your life. Now, for those of you who were attracted to the fourth pile, your cards are the Empress and the Ten of Coins. Now, this is definitely a very karmic combination, but the kind which represents a karmic jackpot. The Empress tells the story that you have been really, really working hard in so very many different ways the last 3 or even more years of your life to become the very, very, very best and most high frequency version of yourselves. So this is where you took inner work very, very seriously. You invested effort, studies, and you might have even invested a lot of energy and a lot of activity in your physical body, your health, your looks, a different routine or different lifestyle, different personal rules. So just like a gardener, where your life is the garden, you have done a lot of work where you plucked out weeds, you fertilized the soil, you really, really took care of everything that was in the garden. And right now, naturally, it is the time for harvest. So for some people, this can represent a larger sum of money that will reach them out of sheer good karma, because, when you take responsibility for your own life, for your own self, when you invest a lot of love, honesty, dignity in yourself, well, that is also a major source of good karma, because, healing yourself, investing in yourself in a very non-selfish and self-centered way extends to other people, extends to everyone in your life. So you always share your blessing, you always share your wisdom, you always share your self-nurture and self-care. You project it on other people, you inspire them, you help them. Even if it's like something material, you share it with them. So, an act of self-nurture and an act of self-care where you just want to become your very, very best version is like also dragging all your loved ones up the mountain, the karmic mountain that you're climbing. So the blessing won't just reflect in your life, but also in their lives. And when they notice what a big blessing you are in their lives, actively or rather passively, well, that represents a snowball of love and appreciation, which will start, running down the hill at one point, and it's gonna grow and grow and grow until it becomes critical. And the Empress represents that karmic, critical moment. So it can be something really positive, like a larger sum of money, like a material accomplishment which is going to advantage you on the very, very long term. It can be a very prosperous new relationship, because the Empress can represent Venus as well. So love, matters of the heart, but also a very, very relevant and powerful personal magnetism, where you can just attract in your life the best possible partners, regardless of what that means. Like romantic partners, business partners, associate, people who you want to collaborate with, people who inspire you, people who appreciate you. So this is a lot of positive energy. And for those of you who are single, well, the romantic part is included in this manifestation. So it's not just a karmic upgrade of your material situation, but also with matters of love and relationship. While for others still, especially females, well, this can represent pregnancy, this can represent a new home, this can represent a next chapter of your familiar life, and also a karmic moment when you become the embodiment of divine feminine, the embodiment of female maturity. So that puts you in a position of power where you can accomplish a lot of things that you couldn't in the past, and on all levels, material, personal, a job, you name it, because the Empress is like a general symbol of prosperity. As I said earlier, the symbolism of the gardener. The Empress is when the garden is blooming and full of life and full of prosperity, birds and bees and everything in supreme harmony. So it is definitely a positive manifestation. And that 10 of coins is even better, because that is the card of wealth. It is the kind of permanent wealth, wealth for the long-term future. So it might not mean a life full of riches and luxury, but it does mean a long-term material security when you have a little bit more than the minimum, so you'll have every single reason to be grateful for. And chances are, if you have a family, if you have children, this is going to be such a powerful karmic manifestation that it's part of their inheritance as well. So this is for the long-term future. This is where something really positive starts in your life, especially materially. While for other people, this 10 of coins can represent an inheritance that they receive and that will change their lives for the better ultimately. While for others still, this can be like something coming together, like a business, like buying a house, a big donation from someone close, like a family. But either way, it is definitely a blessing, and it is the start of prosperity. Because regardless of what you have in your life, may it, for some people, their careers, their jobs, what they want to do is the primarily focus. For other people, relationships. For other people, family. For other people, their spiritual journeys. For others, art and creativity. It doesn't matter what it is. In any case, the Empress is really, really good news. She's the symbolism of Venus in Taurus, the planet of blessings, the lower benefic, and the 10 of coins is prosperity. It is long-term material stability, groundedness, where you don't have any fears, you don't have any lacks, you don't have any major problems. So that represents a life of stability. Well, thank you so much for listening. I wish everyone a blessed and magical lunar eclipse in the sign of Capricorn. It doesn't matter how these energies manifest in your life. May it be getting the fruits of your labor, may it be good karma, may it be a very powerful ending or a termination, or may it be just truth that will help you navigate in the future. Either way, this is going to be a very powerful, pivotal moment for all of us, both individually and collectively. Well, thank you again. Until next time, bye for now.